Okay.
Whew, yeah. So, welcome to Black Girl Tech Book Talk, and please introduce yourself and your genre.
Oh. Okay. Well, I'm Tatum James. I write mostly urban romance, a little romance. Um, I guess that's my. I kind of just put myself in a category, but it's like a mixture of a couple little things, but that's the size of it.
So, let's chat about your catalog. Well, at
Okay.
least the ones that I've read so thus far. Okay. Let's see. Capturing the Soul of a Boss,
Okay.
Snatching the Heart of a Boss, Married to a Rich Gangster, Stealing a Goon's Heart, First and Down in Love, The Forbidden Romance, Rhythm to a Boss, Justify My Love, and To Have and Hold Faking Love.
Okay.
Now, in your
Yeah, you gotta read.
books,
You gotta read "Love Right" by Mr. Wrong. That's Emerson's brother from "Justify My Love." That's Emerald.
how the hell did I miss that?
It's in there somewhere.
Okay, I'm a damn. I can't believe I missed that. The
Okay.
characters,
It's a lot of them.
it man, I'm trying to keep up with it. The characters in your book seem to have like redemption arcs or second
Yeah.
chance type deals going on. Was it intentional that you made it like that?
Sometimes, but not usually. Like a few times, I was like, "We're gonna, give them something to fix, so people
Mm,
know that you can always change it. You can always get a second chance, even no matter what kind of person you are." Like
right, right.
I think you said you read "Finding Safety in the Savage." Cree was a pimp before he went to prison, so of course, like that's to me that's one of the lowest things. Like I actually broke up
Yeah.
with a guy. He told me he used to be a pimp. I was like, you can't come back from that. But so I put it in a book. Like you should have even said that. What's going on? But I put it in a book, and I was like, he's gonna be able to
Mm.
change. Well, he went to
Now,
prison for 10 years in between, so
well, shit. If you ain't changed by then, something wrong.
right.
Even though your male characters are in the streets, it's about getting out the streets a lot of times with your books. It's about, I don't want to do this no more. I want to get back to my community. I want to put life into myself. Well, why is that important with your male characters?
I just feel like that's just because sometimes people have a rough upbringing.
Mm,
You can't sometimes help how you start, but when you get old enough, because most of them are in their 30s or in their late 20s, you old enough to know better. You old enough to say, "Nah, this is not. It might be helping me, but it's hurting somebody. It's taking
right.
from somebody's family. It's taking from my community, and I want to do something different."
Now, you do have this element of trifling ass Negroes in your book who can't be man enough to handle being in a relationship. Now, what was it that meant? Because every book I done read from you, I'm about ready to kill,
Some of
slap,
and
choke.
some of them get killed like they should. But you know what? I was telling somebody before, I can base all of these characters off of one man that I dated, but I just use a few experiences. Like I know some scoundrels, so I can really just pull from reality and like, okay, let me show y'all. This is the man that she had, and this is probably the man that some of y'all got in y'all's lives. But if you let him go, you can find something better.
Now, the female characters, they're always, regardless of their circumstances, they're very strong. And why is it important that you write that in there? Because a lot of times people will write female characters and they be whiny, can't get right. The miscommunication is just bullshit. Why is it important that you wrote them so strong?
I probably don't have just a arsenal to pull from a weak female character.
Mm,
It's like in my family, it's nothing but women. It's like I mean, to my grandma has six children, five daughters. It's like 18 grandchildren on three boys. Like we just
sounds like my.
we just and I don't have any like we deal with some shit, but we are all like strong women, and I always had to be that way. So I think even if somebody doesn't know how to, I can show
Yes.
them like, okay, she going through all this because I've been through some shit, abusive relationship,
Mm.
cheating, being homeless, all type of stuff. But I always was looking forward to it's gonna get better. All you gotta do is keep going, keep going, keep going.
Now, a lot of times the male characters are like knight in shining armors, but they don't uh hide the women. They keep them by their side and say and keep them. They uplift them. Was that intentional for you to write that? Like for
Yeah,
them to be
I'm
like,
I'm manifesting a good man for myself. So I like try to write him into these books. So I'm like, I'm gonna write this man over and over until he come. I got a man, but he ain't like these men in the book. I'm trying to fix him.
I'm sitting here like, yeah, I feel you on that.
I'm trying to fix him because I do believe in the law of attraction and all that type of stuff. So I
Mhm.
try to keep on putting that in the atmosphere until he come down for real.
I feel you on that.
And if he can't, I just keep reading about him.
Now, the newest book is To Have and Hold, Faking Love. Can you tell us a little bit about that book?
Let's see. It just came out yesterday, so I still
Yes.
remember it so well. But that one, um, it's a little different. After Married to a Rich Gangster was heavy with domestic violence,
Yeah.
and it was heavy. So I wanted to do something light. So that's sweet. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Although she robbed him at the beginning of the book, and he wanted to kill her by his money, he was like, "That's not who I am, but I will because I want my money."
Right.
So he gave her a chance, and it was just like a little sweet thing where they went and they fell in love.
Now, Lyra, that was
Live.
her name. Lyra,
Hmm.
her heart was too big for her britches.
And that's what the
Because,
problem was.
uh, because if my sister, bless any of my sisters, if they ever was to do that, it
Man.
would be some smoke in the city.
And I guess just because she felt like she was partially her mother because she helped raise her because her
Yeah,
mama
yeah.
was on drugs, but I don't know how I would have handled it. I really don't. But I have seen that situation kind of like I've seen where people was on drugs, they cleaned their family out, they put them in the situation and they had to come back and help them. So, it could have went either way, but I don't know if I would have helped her. I don't know.
I don't think I'm strong enough for that forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not. Um, and this one is almost like a second chance too because you included the dynamic with his father
Yeah.
and the grandfather who was his bitch ass. But
Yeah.
you included that and in a lot of black families, I'm not saying it's just black people that go through it, but a lot of times when the father is a rolling stone,
Mm-hmm.
you get these issues that come
Right.
about, especially when the family are well off.
Definitely, as they don't want to admit that they were over here doing this and they were making all these problems for the family, so to speak. They and coming back like nothing was going on. So
So why was that important though? Why was that important for you to write that?
I wanted to give him something. I'm not sure, but I just wanted to put something in. Not that I knew from the beginning if I was going to redeem his dad or let him make up with him or whatever, what kind of relationship. But he was going to try to benefit from what they had going on. So I was
Right.
like, we're going to see where this goes. And it was just really important to show, that a lot of these black men, especially, deal with these things. And
Yeah.
it's just us, like you say, the absentee father. So
Yeah.
a lot of times, my father was present, but I know a lot of people growing
Right.
up, like I was the only one that had a dad. And some like my cousins, my friends, they didn't have. He was there, but he was somewhere else.
Right.
So of course, you can see the way that it plays out in their lives. And I just want to show, like, okay, these are his children. They're well off like him, and this other child that was not, he was not raised with them. He's in the streets. He's struggling, and
Right.
this is the dynamic that was created from those decisions.
Which was crazy. I liked how Javon, he was not emotional, but emotional when he needed to be emotional. Like because the stereotype of black men is they can't find emotion to save their damn life. But you made him, whereas he had his street persona, but at the same time, when it came to that woman in that situation, because I don't want to give out the situation, but
Mm-hmm.
that situation, he really was like, you know what? I'm not gonna be like him. I'm gonna do the best that I can for this
Yeah.
situation.
And see now, when it comes to having a man that's got those two sides, I got
Mm.
something to pull from that from because that's just how the man that I have is. Like it's like the most street person that is, but when it comes to me and when it comes to his nieces, he's so sensitive. I mean, you wouldn't even think this
Uh-oh.
because I'm anyway. So and I do think that a lot of men are that way. They're one way with their woman and they're a different way in the street because they can separate those things.
That's true. That's very true. And also, you put a lot of Papa was a Rolling Stone in this. You put a lot of that in the dynamic between the father and his father, and how that may have played a part in this whole situation. Now, why was that important? Uh oh, can't hear you.
Oh, hell, hold on.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Let me see. It was asking if I wanted to disconnect. I think I did something. Anyway, what was I saying?
The father and the grandfather, like, what was
Oh, right.
important?
I wanted to show that sometimes that happens in a cycle. That you
Mm,
see that he was like, well, what about the kids that you got? You never even tried to take care of it. That you thought you was ashamed of, and
yeah,
it's just that's the way that these, unfortunately, stereotype or not, there's a lot of the ways that these black men are seen. They make a family somewhere and they keep going, make another family, keep going, and it was important for him to address that.
but it also felt like the grandfather was jealous
I
because
don't, I don't know.
it just felt like every time he anything that came out his mouth, yes,
Mm-hmm.
it was rude, it was just disrespectful, but it just felt like he was jealous that this young man was doing better than him, and
Yeah,
he
I
didn't
think
even
too
have the
that
money
he
he had.
made it in spite of him. He couldn't control the dynamic between them. He was like, I told you not to bring him around. You brought him anyway. He was just the whole thing. He wanted to be in control of
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah. And towards the end of the book, I was so happy for the father to do what he did because I was like, damn, about time.
Yeah, no. Yeah, how old are you? But I mean, that's sometimes the way we are with parents. We'll just let them, go however far we grown. But they be like, well, it's still your mama. You got to listen to. That's how it kind of goes.
Now with Lyrica, she kind of at some points in the book, I was just like, girl, if you don't shut the fuck up. Cause she was really doing a lot. Because even though I'm not saying Javon was doing right all the time, but she was not, she gave more grace to her sister
Hmm.
who did her wrong than the person she wronged.
Right, because that's what I was really, when I did, I was like, well, we do this sometimes, especially this my sister. You gonna ride for her to the end, but you forgetting you did something to this man. He should have killed you in the first place. Because I wouldn't have been talking about it no more. You ain't got my money. Oh well.
15 stacks, I would have too.
Yeah, you ain't got my money. You gonna get it.
Now, one of my favorite books, oh,
Okay.
I married. I think I'm see. Let me see. Married to a Rich Gangster with Rowan
Okay.
and
See, I
Kenya.
thought you was gonna say a different one.
It was catching a boss and all that. It was instilling the goon's heart. It was all of that until I read that because you left me on a cliffhanger.
And guess what? I'm almost finished with the sequel, but unfortunately, one of my coworkers had a death in her close family, and I've been working night shift as well as my day shift, so I can't even. Yesterday, I woke up at 6 o'clock in the evening to go back at 11 last night, and
Ooh,
yeah, so I was planning on finishing it Friday, but then they begged me to work Friday night, so I got off at 3, and I went back at 11 the same day.
damn.
It's crazy. Like I was gonna finish the book, and I was like, I'm gonna take my stuff and I'm gonna finish this book. Man, I was falling all over the computer going to sleep at work. I was like, this. But I'm almost done with the sequel, so we gonna get to find out what happens.
Yeah, because oh boy, because I was so shocked, and I was like, wait a minute, I thought this nigga was dead. I was like,
Right.
what?
When I wrote it, I didn't, and I told somebody else. I was going to. My niece told me that I always write a happily ever after. It's like you always give them the readers what they want. You got to surprise us sometime. I was like, just for that, I'm gonna kill one of the main characters in my next book. I got something for you. So I was gonna kill Rowan, and I didn't kill. I was like, what are you talking about? Somebody else like, girl, my niece, she called me at 3 o'clock in the morning. She was like, girl, I thought you was gonna kill him. You told me you was gonna kill somebody. I thought you was gonna kill him. But no, I changed. I couldn't do it. And that's basically what happened. So I was like, I'm not gonna kill him. But I'm
Oh,
done with
thank
this book.
God. Because I
I
was
was like,
like,
I'm gonna let Boston kill him. So I didn't. I just let it go that way. And then I was like, we'll fix it the next time.
damn, because look, the drama in that book, woo, that was a lot.
And I keep forgetting about her mama until somebody says something about the mama. I keep forgetting about that mama. But she gets what she, everybody got to get theirs in the next book. So they will get what they deserve.
Because man, her mama was shady. Now, I call this series the boss series because everything got a boss in it. So, um, capturing the soul of a boss and snatching the heart of a boss and the rhythm to a boss. Will there be any more books with the boss in it?
There should be. And just because I like those characters, I like to do I like the alpha males, and I like to read about them. I really don't like them in my life, but so I'm really thinking about seeing what I can add to it. I'm gonna get my calendar ready for next year, so we'll see what goes into it.
And then with snatching the heart of a boss, that was so fucking good with Farrah and Doctor Motherfucking Time. Dang, that shit was chef kiss. Why you made him a doctor and a street nigga all at the same time? Why was it important to highlight him being this doctor, but also his duality in being the street motherfucker?
Yeah, I wrote "Capturing the Soul of a Boss" first, and since his brother had already described the way they were, so I just let him stay that way. Like I had to keep him the way he was. He described in detail that they both were in school to be dentists, and he was selling drugs. He got put out of school, and his brother kind of stayed in business with him, even though he went legitimate. And I just left it like that. I was like, I know people that dabble, maybe not doctors, but I mean, I kind of do. But since I do know people that dabble in both worlds,
Mm.
I will see if we can make it realistic, and that's what I try to do.
How do you, if you could, what is the importance of urban fiction, urban romance, urban stories? What is the importance of it in the romance world in regards to telling stories that are considered POC or black characters?
Let's see. I think I was probably in the eighth or ninth grade the first time I read a book, and it made me feel like it was somebody that I could actually know. Like this sounds like somebody that I can know of, and I can't remember the book, but it was like these women working in a hair salon. It was called Blessings. These
Mm,
women were working in the hair salon, and they were talking about their relationships. Some of them had drug dealers, they had baby mama drama. It was just different stuff, and I was like, this where has this been all this time? And I mean, I was an A student, whatever, but I didn't want to read no books. But after that, I was looking, actively seeking to read this stuff, and I felt like somebody saw me, other than like I could read about somebody like me, other than reading Pride and Prejudice and all that stuff, Charlotte Web. I want to
uh,
read about somebody that know about something that I know about. And
so,
then it became like this is escape. This is just some of it is just like I wish I could live this kind of life. Some of it I want to find this kind of man. Most of it
mm,
to me is just like I want to be immersed in this world for a while. And
mm,
sometimes somebody doing worse than I am or
true.
better. And it's just gonna take me away from what's going on right now.
True. Now, how do you describe your female characters in the sense of why you want to write these female characters, even with all the drama, the problems? Why is it important for these black female characters to be into fruition?
I think the most important thing, like you said, they show a strong woman. They show
Mm,
somebody that is usually in a fucked up situation and they overcome it. Because
mm,
that's I just want to show it gets better. Keep on going. Like life is so hard. Like my one of my former coworkers just committed suicide, and actually my
mm.
coworker that I've been working for, her brother killed himself. And if you feel like you can't keep going, you won't. So I want to show people that you can keep going. I've
So
been
why
through this shit
so why is it important for the male characters to be written the way they are written?
because we trying to find us a perfect man, and I just be like, I make them try to make them real, but still at the same time like perfect for the female that's in the book. And
Mm.
I just think there's somebody for everybody. If you don't settle, even if you do, sometimes it's somebody for you that will make you feel like these people. I believe that wholeheartedly. Even if we might not never run into them, they out there somewhere.
So you said that you wanted to write because you didn't see representation in regards to someone looking like you. But was there anything else? What was the reason for you to write?
This is the main thing. Like, and the man keep calling me. Okay, I mean, like, okay, what was I gonna say? I like to tell stories. Like my family, my daddy's family, we all just talk all the time. We like to tell stories. Even when I'm like watching a show or something, I always feel like I can fix it.
Mm.
So I can fix it. I started saying, well, let me try to fix it. And that's how I really started where I'm like, I can make a story better than that. And that's kind of the way I
Okay.
this is
So, huh?
crazy. This man keep calling. Don't you see something?
So what is your favorite trope? Do you even do tropes, or what is your favorite trope that you like? Uh-oh.
Mostly I like friends to lovers. I'm getting more into second chance. I didn't think I would like it. But forbidden overall, forbidden is always gonna be my favorite, and I just like the push and pull dynamic. Like, we don't need to do this, we don't need to do this, and then it's going down. That's what I like.
What's your least favorite trope?
Uh, I'm not sure. I don't care for interracial, but
Mm.
it's just because I don't feel like I can relate to it. I just never want to have something like that, so it's hard for me to relate. But I don't really have a least favorite.
Mm.
Maybe sometimes if enemies to lover isn't done right, I don't like it either.
Mm.
Like, you like, y'all want each other, just go ahead and do this.
Ah, ah. So, out of all your books, who is your book bae? Like, this is and why? Why is
Ta-
that person your book bae?
Tasha's always gonna be probably no. I'm gonna try to get somebody better over time, but so far Tasha's my favorite. I tried to get a favorite every time. I try to make somebody better than him, but I just can't. He's like so toxic, and like I'm as I envision him so fine. Like, I just and then he's like rough and rugged. Like, that's why I try to make him totally opposite in personality from his brother. He's my favorite.
So, who's your book bag from your favorite author? Who's the author and why this character?
Um, it's probably after all this time, it's probably still Blue from M. Monique. Blue.
Oh, oh,
Don't
oh,
fight me.
oh, oh,
Don't fight me because I have to fight a couple people.
oh,
But
that.
then, probably a close second, Assad from B Love's Mafia
See,
series.
now, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
See, I got good taste in men.
Wait a minute, because the side and blue. Shit. Should I drink to that? God damn.
I should have had a drink.
This is called drink and
I
books.
know, but I was like, you know what? I've been asleep all day. I'm just getting up. I was like, we're gonna take a shower. We're gonna spray on some of our Dr. Teals wake up stuff and try to come back. So I didn't do nothing extra. Like, because I'll be back asleep if I after this. If I had one sip, I'll probably be laid out on the couch in a few minutes.
So what's next for you? Do you have any book conventions you're going to next year or this year? Are you got any books coming out this year or next year? And
Of
what should
course,
we be looking
as
for?
soon as possible, Married to a Rich Gangster 2. I guess it'll probably end up on the calendar for October. And then I got a few irons in the fire. We actually have a group project that we're gonna leave unannounced for now for BLP for December. And then of course we got our meet and greet again in January.
I
It's the
saw
week
that
after
I
my
saw that.
birthday. So yeah, that and then I'm doing something with Aisha and Kimberly in October, I think. So I probably fill in a few more months. But I'm
Why you
planning
not
on.
coming to mine?
I must not have been invited or something. All right, why don't I know
Ma'am,
anything
I
about
know
this?
I invited you. I know I
You
sent you a
probably did.
message.
My calendar, I got I'm terrible with the calendar. I write stuff down in my notebook, and when I'm done with the notebook, I go to the next one, and then we don't go back to the other one. So I really got to get my calendar back out.
Me and Shannon, we're
Yeah,
doing the Boozy Book Tour.
I've seen that. I gotta pull this stuff up because I gotta go.
I'm gonna send you the link to everything, but I want you to go. I mean, Charlotte is closed up because all the authors took all the
Oh, and
slots.
that's probably what made me. That's probably what made me uh put a pin in it because that was probably the closest to me since I'm in Georgia.
Well, we have it in Denver, Houston, and Chicago,
I've never been to Houston. I ought to go.
and Tulsa. Those are the last spots left, last cities left.
I think Chicago is like an hour and a half. Like I'm just trying to plan like how close can I get? Okay, we'll make it.
Well, I'll send you the information and tag you into the promo so you can see what we're doing.
Okay.
Also, what now? You said what book coming next? What,
Bad Boy Rich Gangster 2. That's
okay, any
next.
other books that we should know
I got
about?
them, but I'm not sure which one I finish first. But definitely, like I said, BLP is doing a group project for December, so that's definitely on the calendar. But I'm
Okay.
gonna try to squeeze two more books into this year at least,
Oh shit.
and then we're gonna go to the next year.
Okay, so what is your social media handles? How people can find you on social media?
Let's see. Of course, I'm at Tatum James on Instagram, at Tatum James one on TikTok. I just finally changed my Twitter to the Tatum James because I had something else and people couldn't find me. So, and I got Tatum James Reading Lounge is my group on Facebook. Join me if you're not there. They criticizing all my women on my books,
Uh,
and we all, we have a good time there. So
so,
we all.
do you have a newsletter?
No, I should though. I used to, but a lot of things got away from me with the pandemic. I'm a nurse as well, so I've been working like 60 hours a week for the
Yeah.
past three
Yeah.
years. So I can't. I'm just trying to come back a little bit from
See,
that.
and this why after I graduated college, and everyone was like, "You were supposed to go to medical school." Hell to the fuck no.
See what would have happened to you?
Hell, I was on my way to going to medical school. I was going to go. As soon as I graduated, I was about to shoot on. But then the pandemic hit and shit went left. I was like, whoop, nope.
And see, by then I had been a nurse. I've been a nurse 14 years now, so like this is a whole new story and a whole new ball game. Well, like this is crazy. But mostly you get all the hours you want to work. Nobody don't want to work no more.
So if
Like
you had
we
a
working like
chance,
about.
so if you
Hmm?
had a chance to write, like just that's all you did, would you do it?
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm trying to get out of there. I'm trying to get out of there. And I said just to keep my license or just to have something else to do, I might work like a few days a week, maybe
Mm,
one, a few days a month, maybe just so I can be flexible. But I like to have freedom to do as I please. And these folks work me from sun up to sundown. Like I work 16 hours. I work like 8 hour shift 5 days a week, but 3 days a week I work 16 hours.
woo, see, and see, I when I was my specialty was going to be neurology. uh-uh.
See, I
uh-uh.
work in I do long term mental health. So, you
Nah.
fight all day with the patients, they beat you up. I got bit Monday. Like it's just,
See, the way my life set up, jail.
but
That would
that's
have
what a
been
lot of people like,
jail.
you know what? And guess what? I mean, sometimes it happens. Sometimes the next thing you know, a CNA or nurse gonna slap one of these folks back or something, and then they trying to lock them. Like you gotta understand, this is stressful.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I said. I mean,
It's rough.
I was in the military, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and become a doctor. But all that shit that, like I said, what I saw in the pandemic, absolutely not.
I mean, it was
Nope.
rough, and I thank God. Like I stayed in my job mostly because when they were offering all this money to go work and work with COVID. Some of these folks talking about they making $10,000 a week. My mind told me I'm not gonna chase money. I'm not
Mm,
gonna go intentionally where they have this stuff at and risk getting sick and dying or put my family at risk. I already skeptical about going around them.
right.
And so for the first year, my job, nobody got it. One of my patients went to the hospital and came back with it. And
Mm.
And within the first 2 or 3 days, I had it like every my whole hall and me. We went down. I stayed out 10 days. 10 days now. We lost 18 patients while I was out.
Damn, damn.
16, but that's a lot. And just from nobody got this stuff, and we hardly even know anything about it till they gone.
So let me ask you a question. Would you ever write a paranormal romance?
I probably would. I was intending to do something for October, but the time frame kind of got away from it. But I do have like a fantasy book where me and the group did. We were doing the Orisha, so my girl's like a mermaid, but she's killing people. She I don't know. I maybe never read Tides of Vengeance. I wrote it right before. It's older, but I still love it. And I actually forgot about it. And my aunt called me. She's like, "This book is so damn good. Why you didn't tell me about it?" Because she made sure she gets all my books. So
Mm.
I was like, "I didn't know. Let me go back and read it." And that was basically it. I was like, "Oh, I didn't know," because really I wrote it as a part of this group. And there's like a few of us before I. But it's there. It's there. It's available. And
What's it called again?
Tides of Vengeance.
Tides of
But yeah,
Vengeance.
I guess I would say it's more of maybe not paranormal, but it is fantasy. Like I say, she came from the other realm to Earth to hide from her ex husband, and
Oh, it's
she's
the
yeah, and she's a detective. She's a special victim detective, finding these rapists and men that are abusing their wives, and she kill them.
wow. Wow. It's so shocking for you to say that because of the books I've read from you. I'm like,
Yeah, and see, that's been several years ago. I probably wrote that probably like 2018 or 19, and then I didn't write for over a year and a half. And when I came back, I signed with Be Love, and then so this was my after hiatus. I changed my style,
I'm so jealous because I love B Love's books. I love, oh, his possession.
man.
Uh,
And you know what? I have not finished that series because
I,
that's the way I am when I love a TV show. Like I could go breeze through it, and when I get to the last few episodes, I'm like, I'm not watching this yet. I'm gonna save this for later. I got like 3 books left. Then I'm like, this has been written so long ago. I'm scared to finish it. I don't know why.
it, that Black Mafia, whatever they're called, they are wow. And that's what I say. I love how you, her, who else is it? I know you say you don't like interracial relationships, but Kenya Wright does it with her
Mhm.
Mafia series and Jay Neal and all that. Oh my God. When y'all write female characters, especially black female characters, y'all never make them weak.
And I try not to. I just feel like it takes away from the story. That you always got to be the damsel in distress, and you always got to be a victim. He got to save you. He got to do this. He got to
Yeah.
do that. And you can have circumstances where you need to be saved, but don't be a victim all the time.
And that's the thing, especially when it comes to I don't care how you I mean, I do care about the plot, but I also care about the characters. And
Right, right,
especially when it's black female characters or black male characters. If they come off as a stereotype, I'm
right.
already I don't even want to read that shit.
Yeah, because then it's like it takes away. Because then you can't even remember 'em after you're done with the book. It's like I don't even know what that was about.
Right. I don't because it's really hard for people to understand sometimes when it comes to urban fiction or characters that are black that you don't have to write a stereotype about them.
Mm, you
You
know,
you really don't. Because the same situations that you would get in a white book, you would get in a black book as well. So you don't even have to write the stereotypical bullshit.
right.
So I commend you for the way you write it because
Well,
your
thank
urban
you, because I didn't
fiction
even realize.
it's good, girl. Because like I said, the Married to a Rich Gangster that I can't believe it took the place of catching. I but it did because Rowan was just it was just something about Mr. Death Row and
Right.
why and he was just I don't know. I
Cause
mean,
he felt like he had been long enough. him watching from the background this woman he in love with, and then this
Right.
man that he thought was treating her right wasn't. It's like probably I would have been got my woman if I knew she was being dogged out like this.
Do you
I don't
think
care about no best friend. I would have got my woman.
what was the husband name?
Boston.
Boston. Why did he come off as a predator? Because that's what he came
Because
off.
he was older than Rowan by 4 or 5 years,
Uh-huh.
and when he was 20 when he met King and she was 18. So of course he's a grown ass man after this little girl. So he was, and he knew she was impressionable, and her mama was a gold digger. He could get her and do whatever he want to do, and come to find out, I can have the mama too.
And that situation there with the mother, that's some real shit.
Yeah, I
That is
know.
some real
I have
shit.
seen it. Like I know a family. I hope they ain't none of them watching this. But I mean, I know a family that their sisters got a baby by the same guy, and their mama have slept with him too. So I mean, it's going
That's
down in the
crazy.
country. It's going down way down in the country where I'm from. So I know it's going down somewhere else.
Girl, it go down in Chicago too.
Right.
it and that's why I was like, a lot of times when you write your stories, I can see it because I done seen it.
Yeah, especially this mama. She thinks she's still young and fine, and my daughter thinks she finer than me. I can. She must don't know I can have her man. See what I'm saying?
Jealous of the daughter. You can't
Yeah,
blame
it
them.
happens very often. I have heard a woman say it's too many women in this house for me. I mean, your daughter 15 to 16, you trying to figure out how to get out the house because your man looking at her.
That shit crazy. That shit is crazy. So what about, okay, I know you say, I asked you would you rather paranormal, you say you had the fantasy one, which I am going to go read that.
I think
But
you like it.
what about a horror book? Would you write a horror book?
You know what? I'm scary. I won't even watch no horror movies. So I really don't think I could write them a book. My nieces would trick me and they be like, it ain't that scary. It's a thriller. And then as we watch the movie, folk popping out from everywhere and y'all trick me. So I don't think I can do it. But cause I can't read them.
I just read Untamed. Her story is like that. Untamed.
Which story is it? Tatum is an author, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Um, Shannon, what author are you talking about? Author Untamed.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, cause I mean, she writes a lot of, like she said, she has a lot of, uh, uh, what I'm scared of.
I just read to last night. I read 4 books and two of them horror. Girl, I go through books. I'm the
And see what
fastest
I'm
reading
saying? I
probably
can't.
ever.
I've never tried to read one of them, but I feel like I can't do it. Well, I read like Frankenstein and all that stuff, but I don't think I can do it because I be like thinking all night long. I hear something, I see something.
But see, the thing about it is, I started out with Stephen King.
Yeah,
I started out with Stephen King, reading all Stephen King books until I got on TikTok. That's when I saw that it was black horror writers. Cause
yeah.
I didn't know. I literally didn't know. I've
And
been
I
reading
understand
everybody.
because we don't get as much attention in general, so I can understand that you didn't know that. Because I mean, I did and I didn't. Because a lot of these folks that are like really famous in our part of the writing world, I had never heard of in my whole life. And these
Yeah.
folks got millions. They got have written 100 books. I never heard of them because you don't hear about them.
Same with fantasy books. I until I got on TikTok and Instagram and saw the plethora of black and Latino
Yeah, and that's why we
horror
do it.
writers
That's
and
why we
fantasy
here
writers.
because this is a platform where we can be seen.
And I swear to God, I just go on Black Book Talk and I just
Yeah, because I don't know what Amazon has done, but even I can go in right now and type in my name, specific, I
mm,
mean correctly as I can, and the title of my books, and they would not come up. It showed me other people's books. They have done something with the categories, like with the urban categories that they won't. You
yeah.
can't search them,
I was
so
trying to do that.
you
I was
got to
trying to
type
do it
straight to. You
yesterday.
got to make sure your link is available because people can't find it, and they're making it harder and harder to find it.
I
And they said
ate.
too because of some of the sexual content they're hiding it. But these white folks putting it in their books and they up there. I see them.
I was about to say because I
They
done read
told us that
some.
was the reason.
I done read some white folks books that I'm
And
like,
some of that stuff,
damn,
especially
they
some of
get
that stuff
down
that
like
they
that.
writing that dark romance, some of that don't need to be put on paper no more. So I know it damn well they ain't talking about my little books. That's why y'all hiding it from me. I can't even search my own name and find my books.
You
Then it
know
showed
what?
me 10 other people's books on top of mine too. And like when I'm searching it, all these other folks come up first, and then I'm down here like this my name, and that ain't even their name. So why you show me all this other stuff first?
You know what? Who came out with a book and I could not find it until she had her link up. A. Lewis. She
Yeah,
had just came out with a book yesterday, day before yesterday, I think. And I went searching for it. Her name don't even come up.
yeah. Somebody had to show me. Somebody had to help me find Married to a Rich Gangster. The girl told me she had to go on Kindle and search for it, and then go follow the link from there. Like they don't, whatever reason, they don't want us to be on there,
Or
but
you have to
they
go
want the money.
Google. You have to go to Google, type in the name, and then instead of going to like all, you got to go to
Now I
images.
discovered that yesterday when I was trying to get the good reads. I was like, okay, I can find it this way. Just put it on Google versus going to Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah,
Amazon is definitely hiding it.
because when I was looking for your book, I had to go on Google, and the one you just came out with, I had to go on Google, type in the book in your name, and put images in. When the image came up, I clicked on it, and then I got to Amazon.
It's just ridiculous that like it's there, so how in the world that we can't find it? And y'all got the biggest book company in the world.
Because it's racist.
Yeah, and they saying that, like I said, they saying that it's not. They saying it's the content and the adult content and this and whatever. But that is what it is. It's what I'm telling you.
It's
They don't
racist.
want. They don't want you to find it.
It's
Cause you know what? More likely, we will read other genres. We'll read other races' books. They not reading our books, but we'll read their books. So they like, you don't find that one, you'll read this one. And so they like, well, go ahead.
and that's crazy because me doing this and talking to authors every week, I get so many people be like who are not black or like have started reading some of y'all books because they didn't even
Yeah,
know they existed.
right. Like I'm saying, they didn't know. They didn't see them because of other people. Other cultures read my books now because I'm out. I'm in front of them. But like I say, you don't know. You ain't heard of it. You ain't knew nothing about it. You like I told you, you can go on Amazon. I could tell somebody my name, and they go in there and they're like, she lied. I thought she said she wrote books because you can't find it.
And that's crazy as hell. But it's also the same thing with TikTok. If you
Yeah.
don't go on the hashtag, you won't know.
Mm-mm.
Or if the person isn't a I guess big influencer, you'll never know.
Yeah, you get drowned out by the other stuff definitely easily.
Because I've
So
seen books that have been on here that I'm just like Colleen Hoover. That
I mean, and then everybody, mostly everybody, they talking about the same 5 or 6 books, and
mm,
then eventually though you'll be like, I'm gonna go read this and see what they talking about. You be like, I know this ain't what 25,000 people talking about.
look, like I said, I read fast.
Because we do
So
it, they do it too, just because it's popular. So you're gonna get your views and you're gonna get your reads. So some of these folks probably ain't read none of these books in them.
I was just telling Shannon that I had DNF like 7 books. 7 books. Got 30%. And this is how I am. I would go all the way to 30% of this book. If within that 30%, it don't get no better,
Yeah.
it got to
Yeah,
go.
that's a lot of time. Like sometimes I can't go that far, even if I like the book. I got ADHD, but if I go by 10%, and I be like, well, I'm gonna give you another chance another day. I'll be back. But it's hard to finish. Like it's hard to keep going, and it ain't talking about nothing. And then especially when everybody on here is telling me this book is good, and you
That
told
part.
me it was good. Now, well, what's going on?
Yeah, Shannon, I gave it a try. I always try to give it
You
a
did.
try.
You gave it a honest try.
Because it's like because I read so many books, because I have made myself, since I don't have to work and I don't have to do the things that I used to do, and I could just read books now. I read a lot of books, and
Yeah,
especially since I
I
read
want to do that.
fast.
I want to
And
do.
so when I hear a book, somebody say they're like, "Oh, read this book; it's so good." And then I read said book. You just interrupted my TBR for bullshit.
Yeah, I could have been doing something else because usually you have a plan. Like I'm gonna read all these books right here this month. But if somebody give enough gusto behind what they saying, you gonna put your list aside and be like, oh, I got to read this book, and then it ain't good. You're like, why did you do that? I had some. I was doing something before you messed with me.
Exactly. Because I make a list, and you see, hey Bridget, I make a list that I post every 2 weeks, I have the Black authors that's on my active TBR that I'm gonna get through this month, and then I have the TBR list that I know definitely I'm finna read these in the next 2 weeks. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I'll try to incorporate books that are where people say read this book.
Yeah,
It's
because
really
you
good.
have space to do that.
And then when I read that book, so I'm sitting here like eye twitching, like mad as hell.
And I know, certain things are objective or
Right.
like it, I might not like it, but I understand that. But it's happening too much. Y'all, there are some people I feel they just saying stuff just because this is what everybody else,
And
they
that's the problem.
and they good.
Everybody want to follow the leader on this app. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like you read what you read, and I always like something new,
Mhm.
but don't lie to me.
Right.
Just tell me what it is.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't even like some people just aren't not readers, and they just like, well, yeah, they said it was a good book. We gonna say we read it and it was good. That's all.
Man, because some of these books ain't no plot. The characters off the chain. I ain't got. I read about books that have mental abuse, physical abuse, and all that stuff. But when
Hmm.
you make those books so I don't even know if it's just uh, if it's just bad, like
Yeah,
bad,
I
and
know what
then
you're saying.
ain't no plot to it. They just beating the hell out this woman,
And that's all. That's the whole book.
and you just or this man is mentally abusing this woman, but he is the main character. But they fall in love.
Like
I
I don't know.
I know Stockholm
It's
syndrome is
different,
real.
The dark romance is a thing, but damn, the light at least put a little light on it. These folks
Man,
crazy.
I like dark romance like the next person, but sometimes
Like it's too much, and I think that's what they trying to do: traumatize the reader. So you just like a horror movie. You like, I've never been so scared in my life, or I've never been so traumatized. You got to read it.
I rather watch paint heal than have to read something that somebody tells me is a good book. And
Yeah,
this is why I like book talkers that explain the book
yeah, that
and
works.
give
And
me
then you know what they is this for me or not?
or they tell you like this character got this
Oh yeah, definitely.
and you might not like it, but I liked it. And I could get down with that. It's
Yeah,
the ones that don't even tell you what the book is about. And they be like, oh, it's such a good book.
yeah.
You
10
got to
stars
read
out of
it.
10 stars. Go read it.
Like, who paying you?
Let me pay them some money so they can go over there and say my book good and without reading it.
Well, I ain't gonna keep you too much longer, but your book review for me is coming tomorrow because I still have like 3 more books I gotta read
Okay.
today. But tomorrow, because I wrote down some shit, and I'm sure it's gonna be comical. But most definitely, I can't wait for part 2 of Married to a Rich Gangster. I can't
I'm
wait.
just gonna take you out of your misery since I told somebody else already. Boston, he ain't coming back. He dead. Because everybody's like, why the hell did you bring him back? He's dead. I've
Man,
done that already. So I was like, I'm not gonna make that a thing that I keep doing, bringing folks back. Because I brought somebody back already. So I wanted to. Because I'm like, you know what? If that bitch come back alive, it's going down. But I didn't do it.
thank you.
Yeah,
Because
he dead.
Boston,
Well, everybody can rest assured he dead. Dead.
that bitch ass
And even
nigga.
Rowan, I mean, even he says in the book, that nigga dead. I was laying on the floor with him for 30 minutes waiting for my driver to come get me. He dead.
Because I was like, at the end, I said, I know. I just know. She didn't do me like this.
My niece, I told you my niece called me at 3 in the morning. She works night shifts at Amazon. She was like, why did you do that? I'm like, why did I do what? What are you talking? She's like, I just finished that book. He better be dead. I was like, girl, if you don't, I'm asleep. I got to be at work at 7 in the morning.
Now, see, and I, what, I would say I feel sorry for you authors when some of us get in y'all DMs, cussing
I'm
y'all
fine
out.
with it.
about some of these characters, but you got to understand, we really be invested in
Yeah,
these
cause
books.
me too, and I like it because I know that you read my book, and I have put in one of my acknowledgments. All I want you to do is feel something, and as long as you get through reading that book, and you be like, "This bitch, I'm gonna kill her when I see her." If you can say that, as long as you have some kind of feeling or emotion that took you from where you were for a moment, I'm satisfied. I might not answer the phone at 3 in the morning, but I'll be. She called me. I thought something was going on, but I was like, you know what? She read that book today. This is I know what she wants.
I swear to God, when I got to the end of that book, the way I hit my Kindle, like, what?
My
Like, what?
sister said she threw her thing on the floor. I said, don't throw it.
I said, no, no. Why you gonna do me like that? But then again, I love a good cliffhanger when it's worth the cliffhanger.
Yeah, and I like, when it's coming back, come on back with it. Because I do got an unfinished series. And I told him, like, I lost the rights. I didn't even lose the rights to the book. Amazon just could not accept that it was mine because the old publisher used to have it on their platform. And they wouldn't let me publish it. So by the time a year and a half later, when I'm still trying to publish the second book, I ain't even wrote the third book, and I don't even want to write the third book no more. So that's kind of what happened with it. Like I want to do it, but it's so far out, like 3 or 4 years, like.
What book is this?
And that's from it used to be called his right hand bitch, but now I changed the name to Ride for Love, and I actually made the two books one, but it should have been another book, but now
Uh,
see, and that's also where the person came back alive. So like it's he lingering in the universe somewhere where he was dead for a whole book and he came back.
does that happen often with authors?
Yeah,
Y'all sign with
we
publishers?
because even like with my publishing company, we have ownership of our paperback, so we publish them ourselves. We have to
Mm-hmm.
present a whole nother contract to Amazon to show them that this is our book. Yeah, so imagine if I ain't even with the company no more. I'm trying to get in contact with them, like tell these folks that you gave me this back.
Wow. So Amazon makes it really hard for y'all.
Oh yeah, definitely. But because things happen, like somebody steals somebody's whole book and they publish it under their name, or the publisher's trying to scheme and scam the old readers, the old authors, and they still publishing their stuff, and they, even though they told them that they gave it back. So I guess they want to be careful because they, at the end of the day, I guess we could sue them. I doubt it though. Amazon gonna get their money.
Dang. That's
Yeah, but
crazy.
every time, like if I publish my paperbacks, I have to submit another contract to them to show them that this belongs. I have the right to have this, and I ain't stealing it from my publisher. That just,
You
they
know
want you
what?
to show them.
Sonya B said the same thing because she wrote what was it? The Solvent Brothers. And
Mm-hmm.
I was telling her how good the book was. It was like a mafia interracial romance book. And she told me that because she was signed to somebody else, she can't extend that world.
Yeah, because those. Oh, well, that's part about contracts too. The characters and the likeness of those characters and everybody in the book, they belong to the publisher. As long as like I can't write a book about, like, personally, if I wasn't signed with B Love anymore and I wanted to write a book about Torrance, Tosh, and Todd brother, I couldn't do it. Because they don't belong to me until she gives those books back to me. Which that we know that when we write those books. And it's just like some of these folks, they had a real. I don't know how abreast you are since you said you just kind of discovered this stuff on TikTok. But I
Mhm.
mean, some of the authors, but there was a big mess with a whole lot of authors and a certain publisher that won't give these folks their books back. So
Oh.
yeah, it's a big mess. Like that was a huge company, and something happened. I'm thank God that I was only um, adjacent to the situation. I was signed under one of the publishers that was under the publisher. So my books, I only had two books at the time, and she gave them to me, and that was that. But you
Mhm.
know, some of these folks got 50, 100 books that they can't have because they got to take these folks to court. And everybody can't afford to do that.
Now, okay. Now I know I said I was gonna get off with you, but we started talking about this, so I'm sorry. I'm
I
sorry.
know, like, but I just wanted to mention that those are the things that happen. And he who shall not be named, he did a lot of dirt. to these folks
Oh, that's
and took their stuff, and some of them have gotten partial rights. But just imagine, some of these books are still on Amazon under his name, and they can, if they try to publish them, Amazon's like, no, this belongs to somebody else. You can't do that, because it can tell them when it's that part of it. It's gonna tell you after a certain percentage of your work is in another book. They can tell. I mean, they use robots, but they can tell like, this book already on here. You can't publish it, and that's how it pretty much goes. You can change
that's
you can change your title and your cover, but the inside of that book is still in there.
what?
Yeah, you mean I could tell you who to search and how you can find out. But they on there, and I have read some of them books, but a lot of the authors say don't read them because they not getting paid.
So that's why okay. So it also goes back. So you guys as indie authors,
Hmm.
y'all, it seems like y'all have the most problems with people compared to traditional, and I don't even understand that because traditional has so many ins and outs and all that shit. And and this is what I get for assuming shit that indie authors have more freedom, but it seems like everybody's trying to get y'all
Do, but
asses.
but they still own your. I mean, like the contract is similar, so
Mm,
they still it still belongs to you guys as a unit. That's basically the way it is. Like
mm,
whatever percentage you have agreement for, like if it's 50-50, 30-70, 70-40, part this much of it is mine, this much of it is yours, and we got to do this together. You ain't gonna do it by yourself, and I ain't gonna do it by myself, and that's how it's supposed to be. But these folks got what they wasn't paying these folks, and they would not give them their stuff. You know, the company kind of, I think it was a whole lot that went on. Like, we woke up one morning and more than half of these folks' books were not showing up on Amazon no more. And the publisher claimed he ain't had nothing to do with it.
wow,
But I
that's
think that what
horrible.
it boiled down to, he was doing something shady.
That's
Yeah.
horrible. How can the readers, like those of us that are very invested in your books or invested in, authors, uh, especially indie authors, especially Black indie authors, how can we as readers help you guys more, even though we don't have any control over the publishers or Amazon, dumbass? But
I don't really know if it's anything that y'all can do other than keep reading. Tell Amazon to pay us our money and stop playing about giving us our, like letting us publish our stuff. But most of the time, it's just them trying to protect themselves because usually, like my publisher is so good about, she lets us know, let them, when you turn in your book, if you need a paperback contract, let me know. We gonna send you one. And when I get ready to publish my book on Amazon, they gonna take about 2 days to come back and be like, "Nah, we need you to prove that this your book." I submit the contract, and they publish it. But it's for somebody that don't have that type of relationship, or that they don't have that, it's different.
that's crazy. So, what is your advice to indie authors that sign with publishing houses that are indie publishing houses? What is your advice for them?
Uh, just be aware of what's in your contract, I guess, and make sure, because I know that's another thing that some of these people said, that you have this relationship. Like, okay, I'm signed with them for 6 books or three, something like most, because most of them we start like 3 books, and maybe you read, and then within a year's time or however long you written 8 books, and gave them to these folks, but you ain't never
Mm,
get no new contract. Now they could just say that, no, well, these 5 books mine or whatever. You need to just stay on top of your business and know what's going on.
okay. So, as a Black author, especially a Black female author, what is some of the ups and downs you have dealt with just because of your gender and your race, ethnicity?
I guess the main thing, like I said before, not being seen as much,
Mm,
and just trying to make sure that I'm in front of the people that want to read what I'm writing. And
mm,
that's just the thing, because it's a lot of us, but it's not. So it's kind of like a struggle. And then they don't, readers sometimes they don't take you as serious, even if they're black. Because a lot of them on there that they don't read no black book, they don't want to read no ghetto book, they don't want to read no ratchet book. You don't even know what kind of books I'm writing because you didn't read it. But that's a lot of the problems that I face. But
okay.
like I have understood, and what I do ain't for everybody. And then if it ain't for you, then find something that is for you.
Found somebody else to play with it.
Yeah.
So, what do you say about um, being that? urban fiction has, like he was talking about, they say it's hood, it's ghetto, because a person, even if they're not from the ghetto, allegedly, I hate saying that, but if they're not from the hood, but how can they, could you describe more about urban fiction? Because I want to say that I feel like it's stupid when people say that, but to teach his own.
To me, and because I'm not from the hood, I'm from the country, so that's a whole nother story. Like, I'm from the woods, so more or less, I think it's just the characters. They are more rugged. Some of them
Mm,
sell drugs. Some of them don't. They don't. Everybody don't sell drugs in urban fiction, but they live in the environment, I think,
mm,
where it's a little rough, I guess. And because different with contemporary, because these folks is kind of more of like based on the love story, and then the urban is more on the it's some trauma. Not always, because a lot of people they be like, well, I don't want to read no trauma, but most of the time, and that's the way I kind of to I guess that's the way I kind of sum it up. Like, these folks, they have a little more of a struggle. They from an environment where they had to fight to make it, and that's just it. I mean, everybody in contemporary ain't, they ain't well off, but it's more like I say, it's more focused on these folks being in love versus
mm.
some other elements in the environment.
But when you say that, the same with urban fiction can be said about a contemporary romance that's still in, or a mafia romance, or a uh,
Mm.
bodyguard romance,
That's why
or
somebody had to tell me the difference, because I thought they started all over urban. I thought all over urban fiction if it had black folks in it. So I just they had to tell me that it was something different. I ain't know no better. So I'm sure that a lot of people feel the same way. Like, this about black folks is urban fiction, and that's just the way I summed it up for 35 years. And I'm just 37, so most of my life I thought that that's what it was.
right.
Somebody had to tell me that, nah, all of this ain't urban fiction. I'm like, what you mean? It's about black folks. They urban.
So would you say that urban fiction gets just a bum rap regardless?
Yeah, whether and some of these are the best books, some of the best writers that I have
Mm,
read, that I read ever, but they don't get as much of a chance because just what it is. And unrelated, I mean, this ain't even book related. This is just, I heard Steve Harvey talking about when they were advertising for it. He was like trying to get some new deals for the Steve Harvey show, with him and Cedric the Entertainer. And they was talking to different people about commercials and advertising. And just the same thing I said before. He said the guys was like, well, we're not really focused on getting advertisement for your show, because it's like, we gonna advertise for this show. Cause black folks gonna watch this and white folks gonna watch the white show. We ain't even got to tell them to watch it. All we gotta do is say it's good, and they gonna watch it. So we're gonna put the commercials on that show, and then if they watch your show, then oh well, they watching it. So we got to fight for our position. They ain't marketing to us. They ain't marketing for us, and it's just what it is.
do you think that black women and black, well, because black men read romance too, but do you think that we are our own worst enemies when it comes to our writing and
Yeah,
reading
definitely.
type thing?
Because we our worst critic. We always try to find something wrong with the book, something wrong with the characters. Or, it's always, it ain't, you ain't hard to ever you see nobody white talking about, I don't want to read about no trauma. They the one reading all the dark romance and all the mafia, and they don't see nothing wrong with it. But as soon as we see something, here we go. Well, I'm tired of reading about trauma, and I think that they think it's reflective of them versus the book.
Mm,
They don't want folks to think that they ratchet and they ghetto, even if you are. You don't want nobody to think you are. So I ain't reading it. And you want to get on TikTok and Instagram and make a video telling everybody in the world that you don't want to read it.
yeah, yeah,
Then nobody even ask you.
and those think pieces need to stop.
Yeah, okay. And I'm so glad I don't never know what's going on. I'm like, I don't know who they talking about, but they wearing them out.
Man,
And my thing just made me say I ain't gonna even go down the rabbit hole and find out, and that's good for me because I stay out of the loop and I can write my books. And if they talking about me, and most of the time I ain't saying nothing because I don't like to be on that camera, so I ain't saying nothing crazy. So I know they ain't talking about me, so I might just keep on pushing and hope it ain't none of my pen sisters because we all try to stay out of the drama.
see, me as a reader, I am so diverse the way I read because Lately I've been in my urban fiction, that's all the fuck I read type bag.
Right.
But I'm so diverse. I will read urban fiction and turn around and read something from Einstein.
Right, and I read
I,
everything as well, so that kind of helps because we had, everybody didn't grow up with books. Like I had a book, we had bookshelf. Both of my parents are avid readers, so and I always been a hyperactive child. My dad used to pay me with soda or like a candy bar if I read a book. So so it's like you can't drink that soda till you get to reading that book. So so I got to
See,
like it.
I'm
But
old enough where we was getting encyclopedias, delivered to the
yeah,
house
I
and stuff
mean,
like
and
that.
that's another thing. Like, I don't know how old I am compared to the encyclopedia, but we had them because my daddy did maintenance for apartments. Like, when somebody get evicted, he find some good stuff. He used to bring it
Mhm.
home. So we had encyclopedias, and this before, I guess, before the internet, we ain't have it. Any question I asked him, he go look it up. And I do that now. Like anything, like people around me will be having a conversation, and they like asking the question, and somebody like you already know she's looking it up. We just give her a minute, she gonna tell us.
And see, I and another and one of my favorites besides urban fiction is interracial romance.
Well,
You
you
know
gotta
what I'm
give me
saying?
some recommendations because I don't know. I just something. And this is what happened. I tried to listen to one of them on Audible, and I was like,
Mm.
I can't listen to this white girl talking about it, and it wasn't even know. It just was like, and I read their books, but I just didn't like that. I don't know. I ain't like the dynamic, and I ain't giving no chance after that. But some of my good sisters, they write interracial. I gotta give them a chance. But I was gonna say you
It's
gotta give me some
good
recommendations. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna give them a chance.
between Can You Write, Theodora Taylor,
Okay.
Tiffany Patterson,
I heard of these folks.
Sonia B, because they have like these gangster books. They have the interracial relationship books that really be like, damn, because they always have a black woman on top.
Okay.
It's always
I
a
can do
black
that.
woman on top. You'll never get a book from them where it's uh this is a white woman and a black man. Not that I have anything wrong
Right.
with that, but I love reading when black women are on top.
Hmm.
And
That makes
so
a difference.
those books like Kenny Wright got one called Dirty Wars.
Okay. And I
It's
even
a,
seen dang, what was the one I was gonna try? Whatever it is, we'll find them, and I'm gonna give them a chance.
yeah, our books, yeah, just I don't want to even fuck up your name, Giselle. Our books are really, really good. And so that's why I say I'm so diverse with it. I will read, urban fiction, but then I'll read IR, turn around, read some horror, and then have some white authors that I read because I read Kelly Finley.
Hmm.
She has that white shoes, nasty ass white girl type
Let me
getting it
just find out
in.
what why choose is. You see what I'm saying? I write these books and don't even know what's going on.
I would love for you to write a white shoes book. I would
I
want,
think I might, and that's what really I was like, I might do that. Mm, we'll
yeah,
see.
because your male characters,
See, I don't know how they're gonna be able to do that. I got to tone my men down. I
what
got
you
to
mean
see.
tone them down,
They ain't
girl?
gonna be able to get along well enough to do this. Why choose? I got to read a few of them and see how I'm gonna make it work.
Because between you and M Monique, ooh,
I'm telling you, I can see her doing it, so I guess I might be able to.
because blue,
Cause
mm,
I wouldn't have chosen between blue and gray. I wouldn't have had to choose. I would. We wouldn't have gonna choose. We ain't got to do this. We just gonna be all the family and be.
man, look, and I just like I said, I would love to see it. I want to see you do all of it. Paranormal. I want you to do.
I'm gonna
I
try
want
to
you to
see. We're gonna
watch
get it
you.
all back because
Huh?
I'm really just getting my mojo back. I some kind of way I lost some steam somewhere, and I ain't even.
Mm,
I was like working on this same book, and two, Married to a Rich Gangster. Like I was supposed to finish it
mm,
fast, and I didn't know how heavy it was gonna be for me. Like I didn't know it was gonna be such a trigger for me to write about domestic
mm,
violence. So it took longer, but that ain't what slowed me down. I just was slowed down for some reason. I took 3 weeks off work and finished, and I wrote to Have and Hold while I was off. And so
mm.
now I got time and I'm caught up, I think. So we're gonna go. We'll do
Having
everything.
a hoe is really sweet, but at the same time, like I said, I wanted to come through the book and give the people's elbow to his grandfather because he was
Yeah,
doing too
somebody,
much.
it always got to be somebody to hate, and we had to have somebody to hate. And he could have knocked the granddad out. Granddad ain't that old. He wasn't
Man,
on no cane. Somebody could have pushed him down.
I know
And
they
I said,
tell you
we
to
ain't gonna beat
respect your
granddad ass.
elders, but sometimes these elders be doing too much.
Yeah, I said we ain't gonna beat granddad ass, but we gonna put him in his place.
And then her sister,
See, the sister, she was kind of like beautiful. She was more beautiful.
whew,
When she came back, she couldn't do it like she wanted to because she was so pitiful. So
man,
because
like I
guess
said,
what? I was supposed to be the girl's ass. I'm older now. I don't fight, but it was a girl I was like, when I see her, I'm gonna show her something. When I saw her, what was left of her, I was like, you know what? Life already, life has already whooped your ass. I said, girl, don't even look over here, baby, because a strong wind gonna blow you down. I don't.
so if
But I
y'all
just
haven't heard about her book, could you talk about your book one more time? Because I see more people that came in.
which one we talking about? Well, it's a lot of them, but the most recently to have and hold just came out yesterday about Javon and Lyra. Who Lyra is in a desperate situation. She ends up stealing some money from him after a one night stand, and they run back into each other. And he has a proposition for her to clear the debt. And in true urban romance fashion, they fall in love, of course.
And he worked for it. He
Yeah,
worked
but just because you owe me don't mean you just gonna have me. Just because I owe
right.
you don't mean you just gonna have me now. So that's why I think that's what made her have the like, girl, you doing too much because she still had them standards. Like, well, and then she wanted that man. That was so crazy. Like she wanted him, but
Yeah.
we got to play hard to get. We got to act like we don't.
That's so
Not look.
real though.
We got to
We
act like we
gotta
ain't
be
looking at
good.
them and all that.
We be putting them through it and be like, yeah, I know I want him, but he
Yeah,
ain't gotta know that.
yeah, for sure.
It's on my TBR. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I think
It's
so. And
good.
then, like I said, it was a change. I had to change the pace because I didn't want to write too heavy books. That's why I didn't follow up with Married to a Rich Gangster 2. Even though, it don't involve all that trauma because, of course, Boston's gone. It don't
Mm.
involve all that. This is the healing process book. So I just didn't want to follow it with that. I want to do something sweet and like cheesy almost. Like, we going to do a love story. But these folks falling in love and they don't even really know what's happening to them. So that's kind of how I did it.
Do you ever get a time where you like write a book and you mentally are exhausted from that book?
I think so, yeah, sure. But you know what, too? I'm a Capricorn, so I don't really get tired from working. Like, I'll finish writing a book, like, sometimes 2 o'clock in the morning or like early in the morning. And I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, I'm going to take the rest of the day off and tomorrow. Or like I ain't gonna write the whole weekend, and then I'll be like, but I do have the idea, so I'm just gonna write it down. And then next thing you know, I done got started on something else. So it just it don't work as well for me, and I have found that that's the consensus. We can't sometimes because you already got another idea before you finish the last book, and I don't want
Right.
to lose it. So I was like, I gotta go ahead and at least jot this down. We just gonna outline this book. But yeah, I
Right.
have been drained from characters. I think yeah, I was gonna try to think of somebody, but yeah, I have been. I think um for sure they probably drank me, but I had to come on back with the next book because I was like, I got to go ahead and get and keep going because I feel like I got some mojo. So that's kind of
Mm.
what happened. I didn't wanna lose it because I have in the past. Kind of like I give myself a strenuous schedule, and that's what keep messing me up. I'm like, I got to write this many words a day, all these days, and that's what I'm gonna do. And I can do it a couple of days, and I'm like, I'm gonna take the day off, and I'm gonna take tomorrow off, and that don't happen. And I beat myself up when I don't do what I should do, and that's what makes that's what drags me when I'm out in my own head about what I should be doing.
Yes.
But
Well,
at work now, I have to actually work. See, I used to be able to write at work. Now I got to work. I think they hating on me because they know I write these books and they reading them at my job. Because even I write under a pen name. They figured out it's me, and so
yes.
the administrators is like, I told her, she told me I could be off yesterday to work yesterday night. She was like, I told her good because I got a book coming out. She was like, I hope it's this book that my daughter keep talking about because I'm tired of her asking me about it. Come back here and ask you about this book. I'm like, I ain't even know these people read my books. They probably all up in the morning meeting talking about these books. I don't want y'all to see that side of me. That's why I use a pen name.
I mean, your books are shit. They're good as hell, and these men, the way you be having them dicking down these
Yeah,
females.
bro, I don't want them folks up there in the office at my job. Like, oh, this is why she don't holler talk. This this is a little freak. See, we don't even know nothing about these nurses that we got out here on the floor.
Man, be like, damn.
But my
Like,
mama read them, so yeah, everybody else it's free game, man. If my mama read it, it's a go. She ain't said nothing yet.
and see, this is why those men are fictional, because
Yeah, I told them.
because you know, if your man from your book was real, there would be a lot more women in jail because they'd be fighting over the demon dick.
But guess what? It's going on, and it's men. Some of these men like that on that part of the book.
Yes.
Men like that. I can find a man like that. It's just the rest of the part of the man, the generosity and him being all about the woman. I can't find that part. Now that part, that ain't even all that much fiction. At least I know a little something about that. But
That's crazy.
like you said, if we can find the whole package, the
Man,
world will be in shambles because
it
it ain't enough
would.
men. It really
Because
ain't enough men to go around for all of us to get one. So if we gonna have to, we ain't going to share. It's
it
what we.
would be in shambles. I could see it now. You breathed wrong on this man.
Yeah, cause they fighting over CNA at my job, and he got to ask somebody to bring him back and forth to work. So I know damn well that if y'all fighting over a man to make minimum wage, and he got to get a ride out here, and he got 2, 3 more women at home. He married, and he got 5 children. We ain't got no
God
men, baby.
damn.
It ain't no men left.
What?
It
What
ain't
in the
no men.
love and hip hop?
Yeah, I mean, it ain't no man. That's what I know. I'm like, damn, this all the men we got. Y'all sure?
Girl. See that right there.
And that's why we in love with the men in the booth, cause the men that's out here ain't talking about nothing.
Man, see that right there, demon dick. That's why I say demon
Gotta
dick.
be something. But see, that's what's get him more and more women, cause everybody like, I gotta figure out what the hell he doing. And then the curiosity kill the cat every time. Next thing you know, you out there in the parking lot arguing with somebody. Some girl. I work at a nursing home. Some girls were physically fighting. The patient was telling me about the fight.
Wow. See,
It's been quite a while. It's been about a year ago, but I'm just showing you an example. Like this is what happened. None of two of these people don't work here no more. Like he ended up leaving for another reason. Not only that, the man had a wife at home.
that's what the whole thing you saying.
Like, how
All
can
I
y'all
heard was
even
it
get
was a
to this?
wife and 5 kids. What?
How y'all get to this man with his wife and then we trying to figure out why his wife won't come get him work. Oh, I started figuring out why his wife won't give him no ride. She know what's going on. Let one of them hoes bring you home. I can hear myself. I can hear myself.
Wow.
You let one of them bring you home.
That shit crazy as
And
hell.
you can fight not help somebody's husband, and this man ain't got no money to give nobody. I can't imagine how much he doing to you either. Cause I'm just looking at him. You could kind of look at a man to see what they capable of.
See, I say this all the time to Shannon and anybody that'll hear me. I'm still trying to get my husband to do polygamy because I think sharing is caring.
God damn, somebody will be killed.
You know, I'm just saying because I'm just trying to help the world out.
Nah, I was trying to get mine away because I was tired of him. And so I used to be like, I'm glad you
You
going.
just say you're trying to give.
And I hope you got somebody where you going. At that type of time. Cause I'm tired of you always in my face. But that's another story that I want to share you with somebody. I want you to stay over there. Go over there.
Ah,
Go over there and stay where you at.
oh man!
But
Now I'm trying to give
this
them
this
away.
just this is just a family secret. I taught my cousins when they were young to get a man to be so in love and crazy about you like these men. You can't want them. That's all. As long as you ain't stunning them and you don't want them, they'll lay roses at your feet. But it's just always a man that you don't want. I told my cousin, you need to stop all that. The man know you like him. You got to make him think you don't like him. You got to make him think you don't like. I used to have a guy that washed my clothes for me, cook, and I make him go home. I don't want you over here. I got him ready to go to bed.
Damn, I need to move back down to Georgia.
Yeah, they down here. They down here.
But then again, no, because the last time I was there, I got in so much damn trouble.
Yeah, it's trouble to get in.
Them
See,
damn countries.
it ain't nothing but foolish and shenanigans in these woods, cause it ain't no major cities in Georgia but Atlanta. So the rest of it is woods, and it ain't nothing to do but get in trouble.
Because I was by Columbus and freaking, I was always up in Decatur somewhere
see, I work in
in
Macon,
Stone
that's
Mountain.
about an hour from Columbus, and it's some ruffians that over there in Columbus. Even if it ain't no city, it's some stuff going down over there. So
Because I was at Fort
you
Benning.
right there in the midst of trouble, Decatur and Columbus.
I was in at Fort Benning, so it was just
Ooh.
like it was a lot. I don't need.
Um, just uh, something, a little trivia. I went to summer camp at Fort Benning when I was in high school, a ROTC camp. I was just
Lord,
telling somebody about that. I faked the knee injury because I'm scared of heights, and they was gonna get us on the rappel tower. I had like my knee was hurt, so I didn't have to do it. But I did ride in a helicopter. That was back in
oh,
2003,
oh
many
yeah,
centuries ago when I was in high school.
that's funny as hell.
But I was just mentioning because somebody said something about Fort Benning, and I was like, dang, I know Fort Benning from somewhere. And when I came back, I said, oh, that's where I went to ROTC camp.
Yeah, Columbus, Georgia. Ain't nothing but trouble. Backwood fucking
Yeah,
clubs
yeah, about an hour and 15 minutes away from me.
and trouble. Just trouble. And then going up to Decatur and Stone Mountain wasn't no better.
Oh yeah, cause see, then you going right where is that? You going to the den of trouble then, Decatur. That's
That's
it.
because my family there. A lot of my family live in Stone Mountain and Decatur and Covington, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like always into some stuff.
See, yeah. So now, if you want to get in, back in it, so. But like I said, it's some trouble to get into, good or bad, however you want to do it.
And half of them Georgia men are up here in Chicago too.
They everywhere. For some reason, they don't stay down here. But mostly everybody gravitate to Atlanta, and they kind of stay in that area. But I stayed in the woods for whatever reason. I'm about an hour and a half south.
I don't know if I'm gonna come back that way.
Just come visit, come look around and see what you think.
Nah, my family been trying to get me to come back down there. I don't
Yeah,
know. I have to come back down there with my husband because if I didn't, I'd be in trouble.
yeah, for sure. Like I said, the men over here, they down here. But do you want to be bothered with them? That's the question. Because men have changed. Like I said, the men ain't like the book. The men like the women in the books. They want somebody chasing them and spoiling them now.
I can't do nothing for you.
You know what? Too? Another thing, like when my husband was in prison, this is the first time I went to visit him. I sat in that visitation room looking around. I said, "Damn, this where the men at? I ain't never seen so many fine black men in one place." I was like, "This where the men at?" And they have been telling me that, but I just didn't understand it. They have taken all the men off the street and put them in prison. I have never seen such a
Yo,
thing. A room full of men that look like they in shape. They taking care of themselves. That's all they got to do all day long.
yo.
They
I
lost.
went I went up to New York to visit this dude before I got married. I was talking to this bike club president, and he had got locked up in feds, and so I had to go up to near New York to go visit him. And when I tell you, when I went up there and I saw one of the dudes, he had like three girls in there with him.
Dang.
Three girls, like coming to visit him. Three girls, and I was just like, what the hell? And I'm looking at him like, what the hell? And he was like,
Yeah,
man.
like, are you
And
serious?
when he was locked up, P. Pablo, the rapper, was there. And I was
Dang.
like,
See what's
it
going
was
on.
it was wild. And everybody in the Fed prison that was there, they looked like, damn.
Yeah, because I guess they, like I said, they got time to take care of themselves. They ain't got to worry about nothing but working out, making sure they got a haircut. He was giving, because my man was getting a haircut every week. So I just imagine, like, these folks ain't doing nothing but grooming and primping and working out. Waiting, trying to
Yeah.
get on Facebook and see can they get some women to send them money.
Yo, and that's why he had told me like they have like that prison pen pal shit,
Hmm.
and these women be doing the most for
I can
them.
imagine because I don't think they have it in Georgia, but I could just only imagine what they do. Because he was saying, he was even telling me about like how they can just get women to take care of them, but shit, they can take care of women too from in there with a lot of stuff they do. But right, it's like women just all you gotta do is make your profile on one of these dating sites. Cause I see them on there. You tell them that you locked up, then I mean now they know they can keep up with you. I guess they know you always in the same place, and you can talk to them and tell them the sweetest things in the world. That's all we want to hear. A bunch of lies and know that, and it works good until they come home. Cause that's what one of my sister friends told her. She love a man that's in jail because she want to hear all them jail lies and and you know you how to keep up with him. By the time it get time for him to come home, you don't want him no more.
See, and I had with oh dude, I had to let go. I see that reading a book about a boss who doing boss things in a book that's
Hmm.
from the hood is different than being a ride or die chick with him
Yeah, and
when
I
he's
mean
in
I
prison.
agree. I definitely agree. I don't want to do all that, and I don't want to go through it. That's another reason why I like for my men and my books to be transitioning out of that, cause don't nobody want to go
Yeah,
through all that shit.
because his
We don't know if
enemies
you're
is
going to
your
jail.
enemies.
Yeah, we don't know if you're going to jail. I'm finna get kidnapped because you owe somebody money. They owe you. You got, like you said, your enemies are my enemy. I'm looking over my shoulder. Cause even in my little situation here, my husband got shot like a year ago, and he don't know who shot him. So I'm just like, nah, I'm driving around in the car. They might think it's you. All this, and we ain't even big time. We just live down here, and somebody just don't like you. So
Man,
I don't want to live like that.
shit. When I let mine go, and I wound up getting married, I went up to my son's school. One of the one of the security guards at the school was like, "Yeah, I know you. You used to be with such and such." And I was like, "That nigga live in fucking North Carolina. What the fuck?"
You know,
He was like, "Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna watch out for your son while he here because I know you. You
but
know what I'm
thank you,
saying?"
but
I was like, and then this nigga sent a message like, "Yeah, my people gonna look out for you. Please don't.
I want
Please
to owe you
don't."
no favors and your folks either.
That's why I say reading about it in a book is different from actually living the life of that. Because
Right.
I know I'm
There's a lot of
Bughetto.
stuff that I wouldn't tolerate in real life versus in these books. It's good
That's
to
what
see it on there.
I said all the time. I'm bougie and ghetto, but I had to leave that life. Where is that? It's a good thing to read about. Oh yeah, my man a boss. My man does this. My man, but until you getting
Take
questioned
that
about the
back.
feds and shit, you just like.
Right.
So, needless to say, thank you for this amazing conversation. I had a good time.
Me too.
Um, when your book comes out, I want to talk to you again.
Okay. For sure. And that's what I was. Okay. I'll be available.
And I'm gonna send you the information for the Boozy Book Tour because I really, really, really would want you to be on there so I could harass you and grab some of your books.
Okay. Okay.
Because I don't like buying books from Amazon. I'd rather just get it from the author.
Yeah, and two is like you say, and then they make it where we can't connect our paperbacks to the other books. It's crazy. You can't even find them. So I usually try to do my paper book store now and then. But like you say, when you get it for out of my hands, I can sign it, all that.
Exactly. So that's FYI for any authors that's on here. I do not really want to buy y'all books off of Amazon. I
Hmm.
prefer to buy your book from your hand to mine.
Right.
Because I ain't trying to get Amazon no money.
Not if I ain't got to, cause they getting majority of it in the first place.
So hopefully I will talk to you again and tomorrow morning. I'm gonna put up the review because, like I said, I have 3 more books I have to read. But I already wrote down what the hell I got to say about your book. So, so
Okay.
I'm gonna have it up tomorrow morning because I have another podcast that evening.
Okay.
So be on the lookout for that.
I
So once
will.
again, thank you for the time, the laughs. Next time, have a drink.
I will for sure. And thank you for having me.
So you have a good evening.
All right. Good night.
Good night.